Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, Connoisseurs. It's Rod with Pow Group, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. It is Saturday, November 15th. We're having a great weekend. In this video, we're going to do another rapid fire news update, this time for the period November 8th to the 14th. And again, it's just a high level overview in case you missed it. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe. Take the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos. And I do these rapid fire weekly news recaps each and every weekend. But as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And you can follow us over on X as well. Formerly Twitter, the handle for that is @GroupPal. There was a lot of news this week, so we'll jump right to it. Earnings season continues. Jones Soda sets third quarter 2025 conference call for Monday, November 17th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. We know that they just recently launched some zero sugar options for MJ infused beverages as well. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. But yeah, it'll be a couple of quarters before we start to see how those perform, but obviously Jones Soda has, made a name for itself in the MJ industry. Also, Village Farms continues its absolute torrid pace here. They delivered another record quarter for record financial performance in Q3 2025, and there's actually multiple bullish continuation patterns on the chart saying that we could be at $4, maybe even $4.50 here over the coming weeks and months. But I already posted a video on this as well, so if you haven't seen that, you can check it out. Also, the MJ Moment reports that there's no reason to increase the legal age for MJ use to 25. New scientific paper concludes. This is just ridiculous. Like, why would you ever want to do that? I mean, if anything, alcohol should be increased to 25. Like, there's so much data and evidence that alcohol is poison and it's terrible for you and it's killing people. And MJ is like the complete opposite. It's super safe. And in Canada, there's certain provinces like in Alberta, I think Quebec as well, where the legal age to consume anything is 18 years old. So I think that's a little too young personally. Most of the provinces are 19, but there are some provinces that are 18. I do think that 19 is kind of that sweet spot. I think it should be 19. 21's a little, it's only a couple years difference, but 25, that's just ridiculous. Let me know what you think of that in the comments. Also, Rubicon Organics reported their Q3 2025 financial and operating results. Overall, a decent quarter, and they secured $4 million in financing to support strategic growth initiatives as well. So if you haven't seen their report, you can check it out. The Cannabis company also reported their third quarter 2025 results. So if you haven't seen that one, highly encourage you to check it out. I'm not a huge fan of that company, to be completely honest with you. But I think they were running a little low on cash. Let me just do a quick, I might be confusing it with somebody else. Yeah, the company ended the second quarter with $17.8 million in cash. Yeah, that's not great. But like I said, I'd just be cautious with this one. Same thing with AWH. I'd be cautious with this one as well. They announced their third quarter 2025 results, though. And poll finds that 92% of likely Florida voters imagine this, believe that MJ legalization should be decided by them, not lawmakers. 92%. In case you didn't get the memo, folks, people that we elect into the government, we work for them, actually. They don't work for the people. Somebody didn't send the memo, I guess, but people are finally starting to wake up that, they just do whatever they want when they're damn well ready. They don't listen to the people. Obviously not all, but I can't stay at politics for that reason. That's why I'm party agnostic. Could care less about left versus right, this party versus that party. I would say 99.9% of them are all terrible and sold their soul, and they're there for the betterment of their constituents and to protect their, the lobby money and to get reelected, these career politicians, right? It's just becoming a bit ridiculous, but this is why I hate all politics. Life gets better. Cureleaf Laboratories enter strategic partnership with ANTG to manufacture and distribute medicinal MJ products in the UK. So shout out to the Cureleaf team. And Cresco Labs also launches flagship flower brand in Germany. So they had a partnership as well. Let me just scroll down here. Where was it? It's pilot's new use. Cresco is partnering with Blossom, the company's EU GMP certified manufacturing partner in Portugal, to introduce 3 signature flower products aligned with specific patient effects. So congrats to the Cresco team there. And Charlotte's Web, they reported their Q3 2025 results. Market didn't really like it. They had a bigger than expected loss, and the stock was absolutely getting destroyed. Not good. So still a very small company as well. Revenue was only 11.5 million for the quarter. So I'd just be cautious. This one, there's a lot of sales out there, a lot of names that are 80-90% down from their all-time highs, and I just think there's a lot better opportunities out there. If you're gonna own Charlotte's Web, obviously don't buy or sell anything based on anything that I say. All right, this isn't financial advice, but I would definitely just consider some better options out there. I'm seeing a lot of people reach out to me about like, what was that? Why I forget the ticker. YCBD or something. But yeah, a lot of these small operators, and with the endocannabinoid system post that Trump did, CBD companies were getting a big bump up, and a lot of attention. But I'd just be careful with these small operators. Like I said, there's no shortage of sales out there, and there's a lot of great tier ones that are on sale. I would much rather own rather than these small names. So I'd just be very, very cautious. It'd be different if all the tier ones were trading at all-time highs or 52-week highs, and these names were at the lows. But if you are going to dabble into these ones, I would definitely recommend just not more than you're willing to lose, and don't break the bank. Also, High Tide to open 4 new Canna Cabana locations across Alberta and Ontario. And Vireo Growth reported 264% revenue surge in Q3, driven by acquisitions and Minnesota's adult use launch. And just as a reminder, I'll be interviewing the MJ Herald founder, Anthony Martinelli, for the second time on Tuesday this week coming. So if anybody has any questions, please let me know. Also, distressed MJ operator MSO AYR Wellness sells off assets in foreclosure sale. So that was on November 10th. As we know, the creditors are taking control of the company and going through a wind down. Also, Ianthus reported their third quarter 2025 financial results. So if that interests you, you can check it out. And then same thing with Planet 13. They announced their Q3 2025 financial results as well. And President Trump signs. This was the big blow, really, to the industry this week. And we had a big sell-off in MJ land yesterday, especially near the close. And it was the U.S. names getting hit hard. And I think it's pertaining to this article that's coming up. And then obviously the hangover of this. But Trump signed shutdown ending bill that places a federal ban on most hemp-derived intoxicating products. So officially signed government funding package and spending bill that ends the longest government shutdown in history in the U.S. and sets it in motion a nationwide ban on most hemp-derived products currently sold across the country. So TLDR, essentially it's 365 days from enactment. So they have a whole year to kind of prepare for this. But, there's a lot of options, I guess. A year is a long time, although it's not that long of a time. It goes by pretty quick, but, I'm hopeful that, they can, instead of just doing this, closing this loophole, why not actually regulate it and create sensible laws and legislation, right? Not just this piecemeal nonsense and then going back and closing the loophole. It's like, okay, well, instead of, piecemealing it together and, why not just legislate it as one plant, right? MJ, hemp, it's all just at the molecular level, right? At the cannabinoid level, just like Canada, right? The government here regulates the same hemp and MJ, it's all one, right? It's one plant, so it should be regulated the same. But we'll see if they can get some sort of, sensible regulation across the finish line before this ban goes into effect. You have to keep in mind, too, it's an election year coming up in the midterms in 2026. So you're going to see the potential for rescheduling. And there's an update on that in just a moment as well. And then safer banking, uplisting to the NYSE and the NASDAQ. I think that's going to be something that they're going to want to make a priority. And speaking of rescheduling, MJ rescheduling review remains ongoing 3 months after Trump announced imminent decision, White House staffer says. So he must have meant months instead of weeks because, it was on August 11th that he said a few weeks' time we should have a determination. And like I said, he must have meant months because yeah, we're 3 months now, so instead of a few weeks. But I've said this for a while now. There's a lot of things that happened. There's bigger fish to fry out there at the moment, and crypto continues to dominate in terms of policymaker attention, right, and just media attention. So now that the government shutdown is over, we're more than likely going to see the Clarity Act, which is the final piece of the puzzle for crypto legislation. And then once that's done, I think they're going to pivot over to MJ policy hard. So I think this is just them kind of kicking the can down the road, and they're just trying to leave MJ out of the spotlight for now. And then, believe me, once they put it into the spotlight, it's going to be insane, and you're going to see it on every main. You'll go to CNBC and you'll see an MJ article or something right there on the main page, right? And then that's when you know that they've been activated. And I mean the whole narrative and the media companies have been activated, right? Also, Oxley reported another record third quarter 2025 results. I've posted a video on this. If you haven't seen it, you can check it out. But they just continue to amaze. Net income of $20.5 million, an increase of 533%, folks. That's pretty incredible. And they've got finished MJ inventory sold, gross margin of 56%. This is a great company, and I'll be interviewing Hugo Alves, the CEO, for a third time on Wednesday this week. So if anybody has any questions, please let me know. I did get a couple of questions about, when are they going to get EU GMP certification, and are they going to look to play in the European and international markets? So I've already asked that question. Maybe you didn't see the first interview, but Hugo did say that we will participate, but as of right now, they're focused on winning at home. And as you can see, it's really starting to pay off, and flipping into positive working capital and positive net income. Now that you're profitable, now that Oxley's growing profitably, and they did their capital refinance as well, and they're really starting to turn a page here and show some huge growth. So with all of this cash flow coming in, and if they're profitable, then they're able to take some of those profits and reinvest it into the business. And they've already said in the shareholder newsletter that I think it was Leamington's at essentially 40% capacity. So they would look to increase that capacity as well, and capital expenditures, etc. So that's going to be a focus. And then once they start ramping up production capacity there, then that's going to better equip them to service international markets as well. But I'm really looking forward to the discussion with Hugo, and I've actually been talking to the Oxley team. I'm going to try and get Mike and Travis on, the CFO and the co-founder, on the channel in the new year. They're doing some traveling at the moment, so hopefully, nothing against Hugo. Love Hugo. I think he's a great person and CEO, and the conversations are amazing. So I'm just as excited in the third interview here as I was the first time. So I always love talking to Hugo. It's a great conversation, and he's just super smart, stand-up guy. And I think it would just be cool to get some other executives hear their stories as well, and just to learn a little bit more about Oxley. Also, MediPharm advances global reach in Q3 2025 with double-digit revenue growth and strong international medical MJ gains. So there's been some little bit of drama with the MediPharm board, but that seems to have subsided a little bit. Also, Tilray Brands confirms no material revenue impact from federal hemp-derived intoxicating products ban. So this is great to see. And as we know, Tilray was not affected by tariffs in the U.S. either. So in my opinion, I think Tilray is just second to none, right? Like they have the vision. I interviewed CEO Irwin Simon a couple of times as well, and you've seen on that interview, if you've seen it, you heard him say that they don't like playing the guessing game, and they what was it, Organogram, they said they were going to be starting to sell the collective project to MJ infused hemp beverages in 25 different states. Well, the fact that Tilray was only focused on like 10, and they weren't growing and servicing all of the states, and then getting into gummies and all these other categories, it's looking like a pretty smart move now, isn't it? Because if there is a ban, then a lot of these companies are going to be in a whole heap of trouble. And I just posted a video yesterday on which companies would be the most impacted by this ban. So if you haven't seen that, you can check it out. And I also posted a video specifically just on the ban and gave my thoughts and opinions. So if you haven't seen that, you can check that out as well. And the MJ Herald reports that a new study shows that autistic adults report 73% short-term symptom relief after using inhaled MJ. And there's been some studies done with regards to Alzheimer's showing some positive results there. And yeah, just think, like, once it's no longer on Schedule 1, there's going to be so many clinical trials. And Anthony Martinelli, the founder of MJ Herald, was on Matt Gaetz' show, and he was talking about this and how there's only a handful, there's hundreds of studies, but only a handful of clinical trials, and that's because of the restrictions due to being on the CSA Schedule 1, right? So you're starting to see, like, just imagine, and we discussed this on my first interview with Anthony, just imagine once you get rescheduling, once the blockades come down, once you start to see more research, clinical trials, and then not only that, just with the barrier being removed and more research, but couple it with AI and all this big data and all this machine learning and AI power that we can throw at it, like, you're going to come, like, there's AI is basically spotting, and I talked about this with the CEO of AIML. They have they have the biggest technology breakthrough in like 60 years for they're able to basically predict if you're going to have some sort of cardiac event, right? So, like, that's what AI is doing. And we talked about in that interview how ChatGPT, there was an anecdotal kind of example of somebody wasn't feeling good, their mom wasn't feeling good, and they went and saw a doctor, and there wasn't any like basically glaring issues, but they uploaded the blood results to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said, hey, you might have pancreatic cancer. And then they went back to the doctor's office and they showed him this information, and then they went and had a CAT scan, and then lo and behold, they had pancreatic cancer. So AI is basically, ahead of these medical experts. So just imagine if we throw it at, MJ and all of the scientific research there. There's going to be so many breakthroughs, and even Anthony Martinelli agreed with me whenever we were talking about that last time and said he was just talking to somebody about it. So it's going to be an interesting time over the next couple of decades. But obviously, it's medicine of the future. It's curing all kinds of ailments. You can eat it, you can wear it, you can, all the industrial use cases for it as well. So it's a healthier alternative to alcohol and tobacco. So there's so much opportunity. And that's why they're trying to slow it down. They know they can't stop it, but they're trying to slow down this MJ train as best they can for as long as they can, so that the incumbents, the big alcohol, pharma, tobacco, can get caught up, right? Like I said, I worked for a multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical company who was involved in the opioid crisis. They got fined billions of dollars, and then after that, for like 2 years straight, all they could talk about was CBD. So that's all you pretty much need to know right there. And this is basically the nail in the coffin. I think that really kind of sent everything off, selling off into a frenzy late yesterday. Trump's DOJ, Department of Justice, allows federal prosecutors to enforce simple MJ possession crimes. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Wyoming says the Department of Justice rescinded previous guidance under Biden. So I think that kind of spooked the market a little bit. They're like, hey, what's going on here? Like, I thought we were supposed to become more friendly. But from what I'm seeing, I think it's just they're wiping everything clean. They're starting with a clean slate, and then they're going to be looking to do rescheduling. Like I said, they said that the rescheduling process is still ongoing. And then, like I said, they're more than likely going to reschedule it. Then I think we'll get safer banking uplisting the NYSE and the NASDAQ. And then maybe, after the midterms into the actual full-blown elections in 2028, maybe that's when we see an attempt to deschedule and they legalize it. So let me know your thoughts and opinions, though. It was a busy week. It's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth. We'll continue the conversation in the comment section below, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.